Welcome to Software Methodology, Fall 2020. You might already know that there's two lectures of this class. I teach the lecture with sections 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the other lecture is taught by Professor Lily Chang. Now, unlike 111 and 112, these are independent lectures. We both cover the same ground pretty much, but the assignments and exams are different and they'll be taken at different times and so forth. So what I wanted to do is to give you a top-level idea of how the course is going to be run, what to expect. Resources will be in, Sakai is where the main site is for the class, and where it's a single point of reference for pretty much everything that we're going to cover in this class. There is no required textbook. So all the stuff that you're going to learn will be through the slides that I will post in the form of videos. And in some of those slides, there'll be, and also on Sakai, there'll be references to online resources that might be relevant to supplement the content that we cover in class or in the videos. Now, the topics that we're going to cover. So the bulk of the class is really, or at least the foundational content of the class is object-oriented programming and design. So this includes Java classes, objects, members, encapsulation, inheritance, interfaces, abstract classes, polymorphism. So everything is going to be in Java. We're going to do a deep dive into all these topics and really get to understand exactly how to do object-oriented design and implementation. Now that's going to take us through roughly maybe like 5 or 6 weeks. And then once you actually have a full understanding of design, we're going to see how to represent design using a schematic language called the Unified Modeling Language, or UML. In the projects, not all of them, but for some of them, you're going to be building graphical user interfaces using JavaFX. So you're going to learn how to do that. Design patterns are basically sort of codified ways to implement certain kinds of object designs that happen to occur fairly frequently in practice. We're going to do Android programming. We're going to do multi-threading. Some of you might have already learned multi-threading in maybe systems programming or some other class to do with operating systems maybe. And we're also going to study Java features called lambdas and streams. So these are all the topics that we're going to go over. Grading wise, a lot of the stuff you learn in this class is really going to be via doing fairly sophisticated assignments, working together with someone else in the class. So you're going to work in pairs, and the assignments are worth 60% of the grade. There's a midterm exam worth 20%, and the final exam is worth 20% as well. And the exams are going to be online. I haven't really made up a date for the midterm exam yet, but hopefully I should have it determined by the start of the semester. The final exam date will be as per the Rutgers schedule. I didn't see it up yet in Final Exams Rutgers EDU, but as soon as it's up, I'll post it on Sakai as well. Okay, so since the lectures are going to be asynchronous remote or asynchronous, there's no set times for lectures where I'll be doing any real-time stuff. So what I'm going to do is to post videos at the start of every week for the material that you will learn that week. Now, generally, when you have 2 lectures per week, it adds up to 80 plus 80, 160 minutes, nearly 3 hours of time. But obviously, these videos are not going to be that long because they're compacted, it's one directional. There can be a lot more done in a shorter amount of time. So I'm thinking maybe 3-ish videos per week, and each of them might be about 20-25 minutes long to cover everything that is supposed to be learned by you guys that week. There'll be problem sets. These will be the things that recitations will cover. So I'm going to post a set every week, and the end of the week. This is kind of like what we used to do in 112. And there aren't actually any synchronous recitation times as well. So basically what's going to happen is um, all the discussion that you'll have with me and the TAs will be by video certain hours of the week. So I'll have 2 hours. So these are like my office hours per week. And the TAs, each of them will have 3 hours. So it's kind of like one recitation hour plus 2 office hours. But really, because there's no specific recitation time, all the hours are sort of equally all the same, pretty much in terms of you can ask any questions you might have about anything, including the problem sets, including the assignments or anything that we covered in class. And also you are not obligated to only attend your or only go to your TA's meeting hour. What we'll do is at the beginning of the term we'll post all the hours for all of us, and then you can go to anybody's hour at any time or for any week. And we'll make sure that the hours accommodate students in various time zones, domestic and international. So each one of you has access to at least a few hours a week among all of the hours that we're going to have. All right, so again, just to emphasize, these are not lecture hours. These are essentially Q&A. And I think that's a much better way of learning stuff. In fact, I'm actually pretty excited that we have the option now to do all of these things online, so we can get a lot more discussion going. And speaking of discussions, aside from the hours for Q&A, there's going to be a discussion forum that I'll open up in Sakai for each of the major topics. So there'll be one for inheritance, for instance, one on interfaces, and so on and so forth. So these forums will provide a way for you to ask questions and interact with each other so you can learn together. And again, problem sets, also just to sort of make it clear, aren't graded. So you can discuss the problem sets with anybody in the class privately or in the discussion groups. And also there'll be discussion forums or groups for also the assignments. So lots of times the assignment spec is out and then people have questions about what you can do, what you can't do, what certain things mean. So all of that stuff can also be discussed in these forums. So again, between the Q&A hours and the forums, I'm hoping that there's plenty of time, plenty of options for you guys to interact with us, interact with each other, get to learn the material as best as you possibly could. All right, so that's pretty much all I have to say right now about the top level picture for the class. Looking forward to seeing you all when the semester starts up in September. In the meantime, have a great rest of the break, and we'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.